ambassador of Ukraine to South Africa, is hosting the media. She's talking about the new wave of aggression of the Russian Federation against Ukraine. Let's take you to that briefing right now.
On this, yes, my family is and I personally see my father is former military, and we still live in a small military city. So yes, I'm receiving the pictures and messages that don't ask me, I will not share with you. But there are shellings on the both military and civil infrastructure in Odessa. It's very pity.
Okay, thank you.
Your Excellency.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, I have 2 minutes left for this meeting. And I really would encourage you all, if you want to talk to me personally, I'm available for you. Let's keep it short, and I hope to see you all tomorrow, and I hope that I will have a good news for all of us. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Well, that's a wrap of that briefing, which started at 3 o'clock. Of course, in your visuals was the Ukrainian ambassador to South Africa, Liubov Abravitova, and of course talking about the current situation in the Ukraine, sounding very subdued there, but also offering herself to journalists for any information that is warranted. As you know, Russia invaded Ukraine in the early hours of Thursday morning by land, we understand, sea, and by air on Thursday, confirming the West's worst fears, with the biggest attack on one state against another in Europe since World War II. G7 countries are expected to meet today. Of course, that meeting was called by US President Biden, and in that meeting they are expecting to impose even more sanctions against Russia. But I can tell you now, we've just seen a development from Russia, in fact, just, commenting on some of those sanctions and what they will mean. The Russian government saying that they have over 4.5 trillion rubles, or $53 billion of freely available budget funds, and has enough resources to secure macroeconomic stability and support companies hit by sanctions, it said. So, of course, the West has been, Western countries have been accused of not having imposed enough of the sanctions or stronger sanctions against Russia. They will be meeting this afternoon. Later on today, we will also get an update from one of our journalists who is on the ground and monitoring this situation. Several leaders have come out condemning this invasion by Russia, calling it premeditated and reckless, and of course saying that Vladimir Putin will himself pay personally for this particular crisis. China coming up saying that they wouldn't call this an invasion, agreeing with Putin that this is a special military operation. China saying that it is a language that is typically used by the West. Be careful of saying that it is an invasion. But it says it's also is closely monitoring the situation on the ground, monitoring its citizens, calling for their citizens to wave the Chinese flag, should they be going out, for instance, in their cars, etc. We've just received a statement from the international relations here in South Africa, of course, also calling out what is happening in the Ukraine, but being very careful, to condemn it, but saying that they are monitoring it, calling for more dialogue to take place. But we will continue giving you updates as and when we receive them on what is currently happening on the ground. We are watching that meeting, as I said, with world leaders very, very closely. But let's